Ego is the enemy and success, argue that ego is a significant obstacle to success and personal growth. The first source analyzes the lives and accomplishments of several historical figures such as William Tecumseh Sherman, John Boyd, and Jackie Robinson. The author argues that ego leads to self-delusion, obsession with appearances, and a lack of self-awareness. The second source examines the same concept, but explores how ego can lead to recklessness, obsession with validation, and an inability to accept criticism. The texts both emphasize the importance of humility, purpose, and continuous learning as critical components of achievement. What is the main argument of the book Ego is the Enemy? The book argues that ego, characterized by pride, self-obsession, and a focus on appearances rather than substance, is the primary obstacle to achieving true and lasting success. It asserts that a humble, diligent, and self-aware approach is far more effective in navigating the challenges of any pursuit, whether it be in business, the arts, or personal life. How does the book use historical figures to illustrate its points? The book draws heavily on historical examples to demonstrate both the pitfalls of ego and the power of humility. It uses figures like General William Tecumseh Sherman, Jackie Robinson, and John Boyd to show how a focus on doing rather than being leads to greater achievements and a more fulfilling life. Conversely, it examines individuals like General George McClellan, who allowed their ego to cloud their judgment and ultimately hinder their success. What is the Canvas strategy, and how does it relate to ego? The Canvas strategy advocates for adopting a mindset of service and helpfulness, especially early in one's career. It encourages individuals to prioritize assisting others and making a genuine contribution rather than seeking immediate recognition or personal gain. This approach helps to diminish ego by shifting the focus from oneself to the needs of others, fostering valuable relationships and learning opportunities in the process. How does the book define work, and why is it so important? The book defines work as the consistent, dedicated effort required to achieve mastery and success. It emphasizes that true accomplishment is not solely reliant on talent or inspiration, but rather on the persistent application of one's skills. The book argues that ego often devalues hard work, seeking shortcuts and instant gratification instead of embracing the long, arduous process of improvement. How does ego manifest itself in the early stages of a pursuit? In the initial phases of any endeavor, ego can manifest as overconfidence, impatience, and a resistance to feedback. The book highlights the dangers of beginner's conceit, where early successes inflate one's ego, leading to a false sense of accomplishment and hindering further growth. Why is it crucial to get out of your own head? The book stresses the importance of remaining grounded in reality and avoiding excessive introspection. It warns against the dangers of dwelling on self-doubt and anxieties or becoming consumed by a fictionalized narrative of oneself. This self-absorption can distort perception, making it difficult to objectively assess one's progress and make sound decisions. How does pride hinder personal growth? Pride, a manifestation of ego, is presented as a significant impediment to learning and development. It fosters complacency, blinding individuals to their weaknesses and preventing them from seeking necessary improvement. The book advises practicing humility and actively seeking constructive criticism to counter the detrimental effects of pride. What is the main takeaway from the book in terms of achieving success? The book concludes that true and lasting success is attained by prioritizing humility, hard work, and a focus on contributing value rather than feeding one's ego. It encourages readers to cultivate self-awareness, embrace continuous learning, and remain grounded in reality to overcome the detrimental influence of ego and achieve their full potential. How does ego manifest itself in the pursuit of success? Ego can manifest in various ways as we pursue success, often leading to our detriment. It can foster a belief in our own specialness, making us resistant to learning and growth. We might start telling ourselves a story about our achievements, attributing success solely to our brilliance and ignoring the role of luck or help from others. This narrative can breed arrogance and complacency, ultimately hindering future progress. Ego can also lead to feelings of entitlement, an insatiable desire for control, and unfounded paranoia, isolating us from those who could support us. What is the importance of staying a student even after achieving success? Continual learning is crucial for sustained success. As we gain expertise, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing we know everything. This closes us off to new information and perspectives, making us vulnerable to disruption and stagnation. Just as Genghis Khan's empire thrived due to his constant absorption of knowledge from conquered cultures, we must remain open to learning from everyone and every experience. Embracing humility allows us to continuously improve and adapt to new challenges. How can we avoid telling ourselves a false narrative about our success? To avoid crafting a self-serving narrative, we must ground ourselves in reality. Focus on the process and the systems that led to success, acknowledging the role of hard work, luck, and contributions from others. Be wary of attributing success solely to innate talent or genius. Resist the urge to romanticize the past and create a simplistic storyline. Instead, embrace the messiness and complexity of the journey, recognizing that true success is an ongoing evolution. Why is it critical to define what is truly important to us in the face of success? Success often brings new opportunities and distractions, making it easy to lose sight of our core values. Without a clear understanding of what truly matters, we risk chasing empty pursuits and external validation. Like Ulysses S. Grant, who, despite his military achievements, faltered in his pursuit of political office and wealth, we can become lost in the pursuit of things that don't align with our true priorities. Defining our values allows us to make conscious choices, saying no to distractions and focusing our energy on what brings fulfillment. How can we combat feelings of entitlement, control, and paranoia that can accompany success? These dangerous delusions can be mitigated by cultivating self-awareness and a realistic perspective. Regularly remind yourself of the limits of your power and the importance of collaboration and trust. Recognize that entitlement leads to isolation and resentment, while paranoia creates a self-fulfilling prophecy of distrust and conflict. Embrace humility and focus on building genuine relationships, recognizing the value of others' contributions. Why is it crucial to develop strong self-management skills as we achieve greater success? As our responsibilities grow, the need for effective self-management becomes paramount. The informal approaches that may have worked in the early stages of our careers might not be sufficient for managing larger teams and complex projects. We must develop systems and structures that promote order and efficiency, delegate effectively, and empower others. Like Dwight D. Eisenhower, who recognized the need for a structured approach even as president, we must prioritize and delegate tasks to avoid becoming overwhelmed and maintain focus on our core responsibilities. What is the disease of me, and how can we prevent it from undermining our success? The disease of me is a term coined by Coach Pat Riley to describe the egotism and self-centeredness that can infect successful teams. This manifests as a focus on individual glory and recognition at the expense of the collective good. We can combat this by prioritizing collaboration, recognizing the contributions of others, and maintaining a sense of humility. Embrace the spirit of service and focus on the shared goals rather than personal accolades. Like General George Marshall, whose selflessness and focus on the greater good contributed immensely to Allied victory in World War II, prioritize the mission above personal gain. How can we cultivate a sense of perspective and manage our ego in the face of success? Maintaining perspective requires actively countering the ego's tendency towards self-importance. Seek experiences that connect you to something larger than yourself, whether it's through nature, art, history, or spiritual practices. Regularly reflect on the vastness of the universe and the impermanence of our individual lives. Like John Muir, who found awe and connection amidst the grandeur of Alaska's wilderness, engage in activities that foster a sense of humility and appreciation for the interconnectedness of all things. Cultivate sobriety by staying grounded in reality, focusing on the work, and resisting the allure of superficiality and excess. Remember that true fulfillment comes from aligning your actions with your values and contributing to something meaningful beyond yourself. What is the relationship between ego and failure? Ego makes us ill-prepared for failure. It makes setbacks feel more significant than they are and can lead to destructive behaviors and attempts to avoid failure. Ego can prevent us from acknowledging our mistakes and learning from them, making it harder to rise after a fall. How can we make the most of dead time in our lives? Dead time, those periods of waiting or inactivity, can be transformed into alive time by adopting an attitude of learning and action. Use these periods to address issues you've put off, develop new skills, or reflect and learn from past experiences. Like Malcolm X in prison, we can find freedom and growth even in seemingly restrictive circumstances. Why is focusing on the effort more important than the outcome? We can't always control outcomes, but we can control our effort. Focusing on doing the right thing and putting in our best effort, like the General Belisarius, brings peace of mind and allows us to maintain our integrity regardless of external rewards or recognition. What are Fight Club moments, and what can we learn from them? Fight Club moments are those times when we hit rock bottom and are forced to confront hard truths about ourselves and the world. These moments, while painful, can be catalysts for positive change. By stripping away our illusions and facing reality, we open ourselves to the opportunity for growth and improvement. Why is it crucial to maintain our own scorecard? Relying on external validation and the scoreboard of societal expectations can lead to complacency and prevent us from reaching our full potential. Maintaining our own scorecard, based on higher personal standards, allows us to objectively assess our progress, identify weaknesses, and continuously strive for improvement. How can love be a more effective response to negativity than hate? Hate consumes us and clouds our judgment, while love frees us. Responding to attacks, slights, or disappointments with love, forgiveness, or at least letting go, prevents us from becoming consumed by negativity and allows us to focus on more productive pursuits. What are the dangers of letting ego dictate our response to failure? Ego often leads to a fear of admitting fault and a desperate attempt to save face, which can result in destructive behaviors like lying, cheating, or blaming others. Instead of accepting responsibility and learning from our mistakes, we risk making the situation worse and damaging our character. How can we effectively navigate the cycle of aspiration, success, and adversity? By understanding that this cycle is an inevitable part of life and that each phase presents opportunities for growth, we can strive for success without ego, learn from our failures with strength and humility, and use those lessons to fuel our aspirations. In all stages, ego is the enemy.